Report is that ISIS put out a recording today that calls for Muslims to launch a holy war against Russians and Americans. See that? ISIS against Russia and America. What if we accommodated them? We go to the space with them. Can't we go to the war with them? Let's bring in Mike Barrett. He's a former Defense Department intelligence officer. It was this or lead with the debate, and I chose this. Mike, let's just concede what we've done was wrong, what we're doing is not working, and move forward. Could this offer some hope?
Yeah, Shep, I actually think it could. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think you're going to see just U.S. and Russia. You're going to want to see it under the umbrella of the United Nations, do something through the Security Council just to give kind of that fig leaf of international legitimacy. Certainly President Obama is going to need that domestically, and Putin doesn't necessarily want to be seen as directly aligned with the U.S. But, yeah, this is how you get it done. This is how you get the deal done. You take a look at the situation, you figure out what do you actually want to achieve, which in this case is the death of ISIS, and you make the deal to make that happen. If Russia can bring together Iran and Assad from the one side, and the U.S. can kind of bring together and keep under control the Sunni states from the other side, we could actually, really tighten the noose here on ISIS and bring those guys down.
Gordon Adams and Stephen Walt wrote this for the New York Times today. And one of the questions was, of course, what about overreach with the two of us in there together? There's always that possibility.
There is the risk of overreach, but I think there's much more of an overreach when you have a muddled strategy, which is frankly what the U.S. has had for 4 years. As you and I have talked about many times, at the end of the day, right, if you want ISIS gone, then you make the deal with Assad. It's a deal with the devil, but that's sometimes what you got to do in the real world. And, at the end of the day, this is where we're down to. If we continue doing this half measures that we've been doing, arming some Sunnis, hoping that other Sunnis will take out ISIS, but not take out Assad, and then hope that the Kurds have success, hope that the Russian and the Turkish and the U.S. and the other air forces don't bang into each other, hope that no missiles go astray. I mean, you look at a situation last week where we had the hospital bombed by accident. You have a situation where military weapons are being used by multiple sides for multiple objectives in a very small geography. That is a recipe for disaster. How can the world take a deep breath and step back from this? We can come together through the international organization, again, mostly as a fig leaf. I'm not looking at the UN for troops or anything, but you want to have that sort of, you just want some political top cover to give you the excuse to make the deal that needs to be made. And let me be clear about this, Shep. It is a horrible deal. Nobody wants to make a deal with Assad. Nobody wants to reward Putin for his coming in aggressively there without coming in through the international community. But at the end of the day, the facts on the ground are what the facts on the ground are. ISIS has got to go, and if that means Assad has to maintain some leadership over part of the country, so be it.
Politically, could we stomach that? Could leaders in the White House and all the adoring men, and could the Pentagon, could they all get on board with this and work somehow with Vladimir Canis Macho Putin?
I think the Pentagon actually would be much more willing to do this than the political leadership. I think the Obama administration, like I said, if we go through the UN, they'd probably be willing to take this because that is kind of where their heart lies, is diplomacy as a solution. The military knows it's a mess. That's why we haven't been going in there. That's why we haven't done the no-fly zone. Some of these things that people bandy about as though it's very simple and no cost. The military pays the price for that. We know how hard it is in the military to keep good intelligence, to make sure that you never have a mistake, to watch out for collateral damage. So I think the military would come to grips with it at the end of the day. The challenge is going to be the political rhetoric, particularly during a presidential season.
Yep, the problem is always the political rhetoric. Mike Barrett, it's great to see you. Thank you.